Hello, lovely people. It's Jane Jackson here, and I just felt called to do Facebook Live. It's been a while since I've gone live on my Facebook page, and because I've been so flipping busy. The Best You Expo was amazing for me, and my talk attracted an absolute packed out room full of people that were eager to listen to me and who were totally engaged, and the feedback that I was getting was this talk was just so inspiring and incredible and amazing. Hi Joanna, so nice of you to join me. No, that's not what my fans were saying. I'm just saying hello to Joanna. So as a result of my talk, I booked up loads and loads of calls with people, and they were just totally and utterly inspired by what it was that I had to say. But here's a little secret that I want to share with you. While I was up on stage, while I was speaking, I had this internal critic playing in my head, telling me what I was talking about was a load of shit. No one wanted to hear this. Just shut the fuck up. This was going on for pretty much most of the 20 minutes that I was talking. And I went into this weird space where I was carrying on with my presentation, but I was also acknowledging the internal critic and just asking it to please be quiet, to quieten down, to allow me to continue speaking. And somehow I managed to get through that. But wouldn't it be nice if whenever we are aware of that internal critic and that dialogue constantly going on in our heads, wouldn't it be nice if we could just get it on board, get it on our side to embrace what it is that we want to do together? So I was listening to a really brilliant talk the other day on the Tapping World Summit with Pamela Bruner. I think that's her name. It's B-R-U-N-E-R. And she was sharing one of the techniques that she uses with clients to help get over public speaking nerves. So I thought I would share it with you because it's quite amazing. So if you're not familiar with tapping, don't worry, because I'm only going to show you this one point. So it's where the collarbone is. If you just drop down, you'll notice that there's just a kind of dent there. And all you need to do is just tap on this. And it's combining visualization with just tapping on these two pressure points. So you notice what fear is coming up, because that's our internal critic is just that fearful part of us. So notice what fear is showing up. What's it to do with it? Might be you've got a public speaking event to coming up, or it might be that you're getting a bit fearful about networking, or it might be that you've got a difficult conversation that you've got to have with a client, or it might not even be to do with business. It might be with a relationship. Notice the fear come up. Then what I want you to do is just to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and take yourself to the most favorite part of the world. Or it could be your backyard, it could be by the beach, it could be in the mountains, wherever it is that you feel most at peace and safe. So imagine yourself standing in your favorite place, in your favorite safe place. And then what I want you to do is to invite your fear just to step outside of yourself and in front of you. And I want you to imagine your fear as a character. What does it look like? Could be a cartoon character, could be a person. So imagine what it looks like. So when I did this exercise, my character looked a little bit like the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. I know, it just did. And it was helpful for me to think of it like that, because then I could have a bit more fun with it. So you've got your fear character in front of you. Now I want you to start a conversation. Start a conversation with your fear. Ask your fear, what is it really wants you to know? What is it that it's really scared of? And quite often, your fear might respond that it's scared that you're going to make a fool of yourself, or it's scared that you're going to upset someone, or it's scared that you're going to dry up and not know what to say, and then everyone's going to laugh at you. So acknowledge your fear. Have this conversation with your fear as you would with one of your clients, with someone that you love deeply. What would you say to it in response to that? You'd acknowledge it, wouldn't you? I hear what you're saying. I wonder where that worry or concern has come from. And allow your fear to tell you where it has come from. Quite often, it comes from incidents at school or as a child. Allow it to talk. Allow it to have the space to share where it comes from. Acknowledge how difficult it must have been for your fear. Show a bit of compassion and love. And then be honest and say, look, I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate that it's been tough for you. But here's the thing, I'm a grown-up now, and I've got grown-up stuff to do. And I can't get on and do it if you're gabbling away in my head about how shit I am, how I'm not good enough. Because all that does is just make me feel even worse. And then it makes you feel even worse. So you see my dilemma here. How are we going to work together to resolve this? Because I've got this speaking event coming up. And what I'd really like, instead of you telling me how shit I am, is if you could help me just to imagine that what I'm saying is really helpful. Is this something you think you could do for me? Quite often, your fear might be very open to that. Might be open to trying new things. And if you notice that there's some resistance, just ask what that resistance is about. So carry on the conversation until you can get fear on your side, until you can get fear so excited about your public speaking event or how you're going to be at networking, so that whenever you are standing up and talking and putting yourself out there, instead of that dialogue going on in your head about how shit you are, how no one wants to hear what you're saying, you've got this voice saying, you fucking rock, girl. You tell it as it is, because you know what? Everyone wants to hear this message right now. So once you get to that point where fear is on your side, allow it to step back in to your body. Take a few deep breaths and then come back into the present moment. Okay, you can stop tapping now. Oh, look, it's a bit red there. So take a few deep breaths. So I encourage you to have a play with that exercise, because I think it's quite fun. And notice what difference it makes, and see how you can turn your fear or your inner critic into your #1 fan, your raging cheerleader that goes on in your head all the time. I'm quite excited to keep trying that. And I have to say that normally when I'm doing a Facebook Live, I usually have that critic going on in my head. I haven't got any of that, which is lovely. So that was just a very little technique that I felt called to share today. Thank you for all the love that's coming my way. I hope you found it useful, and do feel free to share how this technique or exercise might help you. And I'm really pleased that it's been good for you to hear today. So keep practicing and notice the difference that it makes for you. Take care for now. Have a wonderful day. Much love. Bye.